What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Hybrid Cut. So I have some change of plans. Originally, the plan was to do a show in Texas on April 15th. And based off my progress, where my weight is currently sitting, my body fat, how I'm feeling, I actually decided to move that show up. So the show that I'm doing is on March 25th in Orlando, Florida, which puts us just under 3 weeks out. With that change, I decided this last week, I changed my calories and my macros. So my current calories are 1,800 a day. That's what they were last week. That's what they will be this week. I'm still losing at a pretty aggressive pace. Throughout this video, I'll talk about how I'm feeling, some changes to how I'm feeling. We'll be doing a DEXA scan. I'll talk about specific macros that I'm shooting for right now, but that's the news I want to share with you guys. We are now under 3 weeks out. This show is March 25th. I'm parked outside of H-E-B right now because I'm about to go get some groceries to show you guys a really convenient cutting meal that I like to incorporate when my calories and my carbs are this low. It's a high volume meal. But yeah, we're less than 3 weeks out and we're gonna get pretty aggressive. We got pretty aggressive last week. That's why I dropped calories to 1,800. If you're not dieting or planning to do a show, I wouldn't suggest or even recommend dropping calories this low. I would not suggest it. You don't feel great. I don't feel great. But to get as lean as I want and need to be, that's just part of the process. So let's go into H-E-B. Let's grab some food. Let's talk about the cut throughout this video.
Let's go. Bring it in. We about to do what we did again. Nothing to prove, but you know what we've been against. We got a call to do it. You know we issuing it. You see the evidence. Yeah, you see the homie. I'm going from holy to holy. Going from glory to glory. I ain't just living, I'm telling the story. I had an episode better than Maury. I had to step and they couldn't ignore it. I had a shot and I hit it like Ori. I feel the glory. I feel the glory.
This is not what I'm about to say. This is not to discredit or disrespect the sport of bodybuilding. Probably gonna be my last bodybuilding show that I ever do for that reason. So this is the Chicken Power Slaw Bowl. I have this once a day right now. It is 378 calories, 54 grams of protein, 18 grams of carbs, and 10 grams of fat. Now, my macros that I'm consuming daily right now, 1,805 calories, 235 grams of protein, 115 grams of carbs, and 45 grams of fat. I don't anticipate from now until show day that my calories are gonna drop lower than this. But we'll see. We still have 19 days. In this bowl, I have 8 ounces of chicken breast tenders, which are extremely lean. And I'm going to add, this is an H-E-B Power Slaw. It's broccoli, kohlrabi, which I have no clue what that is, Brussels sprouts, red cabbage, carrots, and kale. One serving is 85 grams. I'm gonna do 2 servings of this. So 170 grams of the Power Slaw. This is where all the volume comes in. It's 170. Next up, we have a kosher baby dill pickle. 0 calories. To get the most out of this pickle, we're gonna use some kitchen shears and cut very small. You're gonna cut this up. If you wanna go 2 pickles, go 2 pickles, go wild. I'm only doing 1 pickle. Now we have some of these little cherry tomatoes. What I like to do is just cut them in half, just a few. A few go a long way. Cherry tomato. Next up, some Frank's Red Hot Buffalo Wing Sauce. Again, 0 calories. We're not gonna go too crazy, just like that. A little dab. Next up, mustard, just yellow mustard. We're just gonna do a layer of mustard there. And then the finishing touch, Bolthouse Farms. This is salsa ranch. You can do the classic ranch. 1 serving is 45 calories and it's 30 grams. So we're gonna weigh this out. This is where you really make your money. This adds so much flavor. If you can do a serving and a half based off your macros, go crazy. All right. Now, let me get a spoon or a fork. You take this here and you mix it all up. What I like to do is mix this up the night before I'm gonna eat it. And that slaw gets nice and soft. It coats everything, you let it sit there. This, my friends, is a treat while dieting. Flavor, yeah, it's pretty good. Volume, that's where you win. Volume is the name of the game. This right here is the chicken power slaw bowl. Make it while you're dieting. Thank me later.
There was a time when I brought light to your eyes. Even the worst of days could not keep us apart. And you weren't afraid to spill those evil thoughts, even the ones that made you question who you are.
All right, guys, so today we are officially 19 days out from the show, and we're changing up scenery a little bit. We're at House of Gains Gym, which is in Georgetown. This is probably 15 minutes away from our HQ. It's a badass, old school bodybuilding gym. Today we're hitting a back and biceps workout. Fatigue has set in for sure. It's harder to maintain intensity throughout these workouts. And sometimes just changing up the pace, changing up the scenery helps with that. So that's why we're here today. So we'll go through a high volume, high intensity back workout, really just dial in, focus on the training session, but the pump's insane. Yesterday was a high carb refeed day, so I'm benefiting right now from those higher carbs yesterday. So let's knock it out.
You feel it, eyes racing, my feet were buried in the ground, my chains break, I can't take this out. I don't feel like I still have anything to hold me here. My steps fade, she can't take the sound.
So I'm doing today's workout a little bit different than normal. Usually I'll start with all back and then I'll move into biceps at the end. In today's workout, I'm doing half my back workout and then arms, biceps, and then the other half of the back workout at the end. So I started with a lot of width, pull-ups, lat pull-downs, pull-throughs, and now I'm hitting some bicep work. And then to wrap up this workout, I'll do more thickness, some rows, using dumbbells, using barbells. But just sometimes switch up the environment, just being somewhere new and training can bring a whole new level of life to you, especially when you're deep into a prep and you're depleted. Just changing it up every once in a while, whether that's going and running a new route, or going to the track instead of being on the road, or going to a new gym, or even training with different people. If you normally train by yourself, train with some other people, or grab a training partner. If you normally train with a group, train by yourself. Just switch things up, keep it interesting, because the deeper you get into a prep for something, the harder it gets.
forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work.
You know, one of the biggest differences between this bodybuilding prep and, say, a marathon prep, maybe even an Ironman prep, but definitely compare like a marathon prep is, like when they say bodybuilding is 24/7, it really is. Especially the deeper you get into a prep closer to step one on stage, it becomes all encompassing and consuming in your life. Where, you know, now that we're 19 days out, I'm thinking about that next meal, I'm thinking about food, I'm thinking about that training session, getting through the training session, I'm thinking about keeping my energy high enough throughout the day just to make it through the day. You start thinking about sleep and being able to fall asleep. The deeper you get into a cut and the leaner you get, obviously it gets more challenging, but it literally becomes 24/7. 24/7. It doesn't just stop when you stop training. It doesn't just stop when you stop eating. It's all the time. So in that sense, I have a lot of respect for people who do this sport year after year after year. And every single season, diet and step on stage, because it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a big effort. There's a lot of sacrifice, but it's 24/7.
There goes Rabbit, he choke. He's so mad, but he won't give up. Daddies, he know he won't have it. He knows his whole back to these ropes. It don't matter. He's dope. He knows that, but he's broke. He's so stagnant. He knows when he goes back to this mobile home, that's when it's back to the lab again, yo. This old rhapsody better go capture this moment and hope it don't pass. You better lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better. The soul's escaping through this hole that is gaping. This world is mine for the taking. Make me king as we move toward a new world order. A normal life is boring, but superstardom's close to postmortem. It only grows harder, homie grows hotter. He blows, it's all over. These hoes is all over.
I got like nothing left. So we're gonna exhaust just the rest of what I do have in this last exercise.
No father, he goes home and barely knows his own daughter. But hold your nose, cause here goes the cold water. These hoes don't want him no more. He's cold product. They moved on to the next mo who flows. He knows dove and so hard.
That's a workout. Workout complete. So I'm in the sauna, which means there's about to be a post-sauna thoughts after I get out of here. But I've been pretty consistently getting in the sauna at night for anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes at 200 degrees, almost every single night of prep so far. I sweat a absolute ton, and for me, it's like these clarifying moments after a long day, which I'm about to share some of those clarifying moments with you guys as soon as I get out. But tonight, another night, 200 degrees, 20 minutes. So here's what I got for you post sauna. And this is part of the reason that I'm cutting this prep 3 weeks short. Originally the show was April 15th, and we bumped the show up to March 25th, the show that we're doing now. Part of that reason, like I stated in the beginning, was I came in leaner faster than I expected. So I will be ready for an earlier show. But part of the reason I am leaner earlier is because I got more aggressive in these last couple weeks. And there's a reason I got more aggressive. This is not what I'm about to say. This is not to discredit or disrespect the sport of bodybuilding. But for the point of my life right now, for me to choose to do a bodybuilding show was very selfish. And I believe bodybuilding, training for physique, is a very selfish goal in sport because it's 24/7, all consuming, from the time you wake up till the time you go to sleep, and then when you can't sleep in the middle of the night. it is all consuming. For when I did my first show in college, that was okay because I didn't have many responsibilities or obligations. Now, as a business owner, but more importantly, as a father and a husband, I have found that the deeper I've gotten into prep, the more selfish and all-consuming it has become, and the less present I have been showing out for my wife and my daughter. I made the decision to move this show up, one, to cut it 3 weeks short, to just sprint for these last couple weeks and go to a pretty deep and hard deficit to accomplish the goal, accomplish the event, step on stage, but limit the selfishness that I am displaying for my wife and for my daughter. I had a very real moment of self-awareness during this prep, and that's the conclusion I came to, and that's why ultimately I ended up moving the show that I'm doing up. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Yeah, it's probably gonna be my last bodybuilding show that I ever do for that reason. But at this point in my life, my wife and my daughter, they deserve better, and that's what I'm gonna do, and that's why I made the decision. So we're gonna call it a night here, and we'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning. So morning check-in. We have a low weigh-in for prep at 195.6 pounds. And if you remember in the beginning of this prep, I said my goal was to get to 195 pounds on stage. And we're a little less than 3 weeks out at this point. Hit the goal weight. We'll see based off of DEXA where body fat is this week. But one thing that I started experiencing in the last 6 or 7 days is trouble sleeping. Like last night was an example of this. Went to bed around 10 p.m., woke up at 1, 3, 4, and I kind of laid in bed from 4 until I woke up at 5, just kind of rolling around. But as I've gotten leaner and deeper into this prep, I'm starting to feel the sleep disruptions and abnormalities, which I've heard of, but I've never personally experienced before. And in the last week, I've started experiencing those. But I just can't stay asleep throughout the middle of the night. I'm waking up to go to the bathroom. I'm up, I'm tossing and turning. I'm so tired when I fall asleep, but throughout the night, I just can't stay asleep. So I'm assuming that this is probably gonna last for, the remaining 18 days. But we'll do what we gotta do. So I'm gonna get some work done this morning, and then we're going for a run.
You roll down pretty bad?
Fucking truck. So right now I'm running about 35 to 40 miles a week, and I'll be the first to admit that I'm not sure if running complements competitive bodybuilding. And here's what I mean by that. We've shown through the hybrid build that you can run and put on size, strength, and muscle. we've seen it over the last couple of years that you can maintain size, strength, and muscle while still running. What I've seen through the cut is as we go deeper into a caloric deficit, it does start to negatively affect muscle. And I think that if we would have chose a different cardio option, maybe something a little bit lower intensity, less stressing on the body, I would have maintained more muscle mass throughout this cut, especially in my legs. I think that's where I've seen the biggest impact from running and dieting for a bodybuilding show, is I've lost significant strength and size in my legs. But we're competing in physique. It's not classic and it's not bodybuilding. But I did want to identify that as I've noticed it the deeper we get into this series. Five miles complete, 39 minutes, 25 seconds at a 7:53 minute per mile pace. Sprained my ankle, turned my ankle at mile 2 pretty bad. I don't know what I stepped on, but it completely rolled. I don't know if you guys got it on camera. But there's no way I wasn't finishing this run, this 5 mile run, being 18 days out from the show. So that's the second time I've rolled this same ankle during this prep pretty bad, but somehow it always heals up in like 48 hours, so it'll be good. So meal number 1 of the day is 430 grams of egg whites with some Frank's Buffalo hot sauce, and I just threw these in the microwave. Not preferred, but we ran out of propane. We have a propane tank on our property here. We ran out yesterday, so hopefully that can get filled today so we can use our gas stovetop. But honestly, microwaved egg whites, not bad at all. Not bad at all. But this is my breakfast, just 430 grams of egg whites, some hot sauce. Dude, I had to pee so bad on the way here, and I hit so much traffic, I ended up peeing in a shaker bottle. I almost peed my pants. But we're going into Body Spec to get body fat tested via DEXA right now. So we'll see how lean I am. Morning.
How are you?
How we doing, man?
You good? Welcome back.
Thank you.
So have you go ahead and step in?
Appreciate you. Let's see how we're looking, baby.
Let's do it.
Lean and mean.
All right, I'll just need you to confirm your birthday. All right, you can go ahead and lay down. Actually, I'll have you bring your right hand out just a tiny bit more.
I could fall asleep right here. Lean tissue loss associated with this deficit, but then we'll do a carb load. So we'll load carbs prior to show day.
Awesome, you may step on the scanner now. All right, ready?
Moment of truth. 7.5% body fat right now. Total mass, 201.9 pounds. Fat tissue, 15.1 pounds. Lean tissue, 178.6 pounds. bone mineral content 8.2. So I mean, we have been losing weight, but we've also been losing significant lean tissue through the cut, which has been expected. Losing body fat, but also losing lean tissue, losing muscle as well. Just part of the process, especially when we're being this aggressive, the closer to the show, but officially 7.5% body fat. So that was a great scan. 7.5% body fat. Now, being about 2.5 weeks out from the show, I said originally that I wanted to be in that 6 to 7% range, and we probably will drop down into that 6 to 7% range. But I will add a caveat to that, where now the priority, I've gotten pretty much as lean as I want to get, right? The priority is now going to start shifting to prep for peak week, because what we don't want to happen is I don't want to prioritize losing all this body fat and I just burn through my remaining muscle that's left over. I mean, when I wake up in the morning, I feel very depleted and very flat, because I am right now, because my daily carbohydrate intake is 115 grams. As we approach peak week and we start peaking and carbing up for the show, those carbs will fill out my muscle glycogen. I'll look and feel fuller, not flat and depleted, but I'll probably get a little bit leaner going into the show over the next week and a half prior to peaking. But I'm really happy with 7.5% body fat. It was a journey. It was a process. But here we are. So that's going to wrap up this video. Guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode, and we'll see you in the next one. We're getting close. Show day's coming up.